What's going on, my eaters? It's your boy Chef Drew, aka Chef, aka Big Drew, aka y'all. It's the new year, and we are gonna talk about accountability, y'all. The thing we need to get us to where we want to go. Before we get into that, please like, subscribe, do all the things that you need to do to help us continue to keep bringing you this content. Let's go. Yeah, so guys, listen, I'm not going to be before you long today. It's the holiday season. It's the new year. We coming into 2025. Oh my goodness. I say 2025. Let me tell y'all. I remember when it was 2000 and that was a big deal. So when I think about 2025, 25 years later, I'm feeling a little old, but also a little nostalgic going into this new year. But I'm sitting around thinking about what I can do, what we can talk about for this episode for y'all. And you know what? I'm in a season for my own self, for my own businesses, where I'm extremely hopeful. I always look forward to the new year because, you know, cliche or not, it's always like a fresh start. It's always an opportunity to try it again. And so I was like, what are the things that are on my mind for the new year? What am I grateful for the year we're coming out of? And that's where I came up with this episode. For me, 2024 was the year, and you've heard me talk about this concept before, but I just really felt impressed to talk about it again. 2024 was really the year for me implementing into my life more and into my business specifically, accountability. I'm just gonna say this preemptively so no one thinks I'm on my soapbox or whatever. Accountability is hard. Implementing this stuff into your life as a way of life, implementing it into your business, small business or otherwise, it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but y'all, it's imperative, honestly. So I just jotted down a few notes. If you see me looking down, I just jotted down a few notes to help keep me on track, make sure I don't forget anything. These are in no specific order. However, everything I'm about to talk to you about, I feel like, one, you've heard a little bit before, and two, it's all important. How you implement it, what you implement, you figure that out for yourself, but let's go. So accountability. When I'm talking about accountability for your business or your personal life, but specifically for the purposes of this video, let's talk about for business, your entrepreneurial endeavors, whether you're working for someone right now, on your way to working independently, or you're working independently. Accountability is just a tool to use to keep you honest, to keep you in step with the things that you say you want for yourself and for your business. The ways I've done that for me are as follows. First, you've heard me talk about this before. Mentors. Y'all, mentors, we all know what mentors are, hopefully at this point. If you want to learn how to play basketball, you find a Michael Jordan to teach you how to play basketball. If you want to learn how to start a home decor business, you find you a Martha Stewart, somebody who has gone before you, has already borne some of the bruises, and who could really sow into you and help you get where you're going, help you avoid pitfalls, learn from other people's mistakes. That's what mentorship is about. Here's the thing. No matter what the accountability is, it's only as good as you're willing to be. What do I mean by that? You have to be honest, y'all. If you're talking to a mentor or any other type of person I'm about to talk to you about, you have to be honest. You have to be honest with them. You have to be honest with yourself. Transparency is the key, because You can have the best mentor in the world, but if you're lying to yourself, you won't be able to receive from your mentors or your coaches or what have you. So transparency is very, very important. You got to be honest with yourself. You have to be able to look in your mirror and look at yourself and say, hey, we need some changes. We need to do this. We need to do that. So mentors, how you get a mentor? Mentors can come in all sorts of ways. You can seek them out, like literally just slide into someone's DMs, ask somebody you know, use Google, try to find somebody. I've literally done these things. I've used Instagram and slid into DMs. I've Googled people who do what I'm looking to do. I did that with this channel. I've done it with some other things in business. What else? You can also, to find a mentor, ask people you know. Maybe you don't know somebody who fits the category of what you are looking for help or guidance with. Ask the people you do know, and maybe they will know somebody. Again, there's some online platforms out there, Masterclass, Yes Chef for culinarians, and all sorts of other things. Your mentor can literally be someone you don't know as well. You can use these platforms because really it's about the information. There's lots of master classes on other entrepreneurs, big entrepreneurs who have gone before you, who have things to share about their business. So yeah, you don't have to necessarily know your entrepreneur. Don't be scared to send a DM or an email. Worst case scenario, you never hear from them. No sweat off your back. You don't know them anyway, but if you could get the help, get the help. So mentorship, great way to hold yourself accountable in your life and in your business. Coaches. Y'all have business coaches and life coaches and spiritual coaches. What is a business coach? What is a life coach? What is a spiritual coach? For me, here's the thing about coaches. When you start getting into coaches, business coaches, life coaches, spiritual coaches, not so much the spiritual, honestly, but the business coach and life coach, definitely. And I'll talk about some others later. This is what, a lot of times when real money starts coming into play. Mentorship, sometimes mentorship can have a cost attached to it, a tangible cost, but not so much, not all the times. You can get mentorship, honestly, y'all, without paying for it. Unless it's, like I said, maybe like a masterclass platform or something where there's a small nominal fee. But you can get mentorship without paying, typically. Don't break yourself to pay for mentorship. You can get it just, sell yourself and find your people. You can get some mentorship. But coaching, there is cost attached to it typically. So again, it doesn't do you any justice, one, to not be very transparent with your coach. Specifically right now we're talking about business coaches because you're paying them. One. And two, if you're not going to do what your coach says, it's really a waste of your money. Because they're your coach, because they've proven in some capacity to you already that they have a specific skill set or knowledge that can benefit you. So with that said, I have a business coach. I realized last year in my business that I was very good at being the visionary, and I was very good at working day to day in the business. However, I was not great at creating the systems behind the business. And so I employed the help of a business coach. You're actually going to be hearing from him in a few weeks. His name is Aaron, great dude. But I employed a business coach, and long and short of it is I pay Aaron to walk with me in my entrepreneurial endeavor and help me get my business where I need to go based off of the specific skill sets that he already has. Now, let me tell you something. For me, getting into business coaching and using Aaron and his firm was very difficult. I was a person for years. I did everything myself. So now, even though I signed up for it, I knew signing up for it, the learning curve and the accountability was going to be a little bit difficult because I like doing things the way I like to do things. I really don't want to hear nothing from nobody. However, one of the things, remember I said you got to be real with yourself. One of the things that drove me to finding a business coach was that something I was or wasn't doing was not helping my business, and I needed that to change. And so, again, I was very honest with myself. I knew I was slacking in an area or not versed in an area, and so I had to get some help. So I hired a business coach. Since I've made that investment, y'all, I'm going to be honest, my business has started to change. I've been in the room with some great people. I've got some systems set up in my business that were not there, and that's continuing to happen. We worked on the business and admin stuff for a long time, and now we're getting ready to work on sales. But business coaching, definitely a great form of accountability. So we've got mentorship, we got business coaching. I also have a life coach. I actually have 2 life coaches. My primary life coach that I use for life stuff, she helps me in my business and in my personal life. My life coach is just somebody who, she's really, really good, y'all, at helping me process life, process the things that are happening to me. Naturally, full transparency, I'm a person that I can get upset or offended at something and hold on to it. Or the bigger thing is, I can be very, very difficult and hard on myself and not really acknowledge the wins as much as I should, or not acknowledge the moments as much as I should. And my life coach, she helps me process through all that. She helps keep my mind right, y'all. And listen, entrepreneurship is hard. The things, the road to entrepreneurship is difficult and tricky, and has lots of layers all by itself. Now you take the things of life and pile that onto it, that can be a whole nother situation. So I feel like the layers in this are great. I have my business coach. I have a coach that helps me with life stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff sometimes, just helps me process through some things. And then my other life coach, who helps me with a lot of that stuff too, but I use him, he's actually my brother-in-law. I use him a lot as a spiritual coach. He's a Christian just like I am. He's in tune with the Holy Spirit and the Lord, and the Lord often uses him to speak into my life from a spiritual place, from a scriptural place. And as you've heard me say before, we all need to believe in something greater than ourselves. For me, it's Jesus Christ. So it's very important for me to have a person or a series of people who speak into my life from a spiritual place and help make sure that my spirit is always where it needs to be, and I'm doing what my Creator, the Lord would have me do. So we got mentors, business coaches, life coaches, spiritual coaches. Now, this is something that I would say I really learned about. I know when I learned about it, 2012. I was going through some stuff in my life. Up until that point, I had been very, very closed off, and being closed off got me in some trouble. And I learned the value of safe people. I'm going to say this again. I learned the value of safe people, having safe people in my life. There are a lot of people, entrepreneurs and others, who are walking this walk, and y'all, you feel like you don't have anybody, or you're by yourself, or no one can understand, or no one can relate. That's not true. There's always someone who can understand. There's always someone who relates. You have to do the work and be willing to be transparent. You have to do the work and be willing to ask for help. You got to be willing to start the conversation sometimes even. But when I say safe people, these aren't necessarily people that you're paying for. These aren't people you're paying for. These are usually people who are in your circle of influence already. What does safe people mean? Safe people means, in short, y'all, you can trust them with your business. If you don't feel like when you confide the deepest parts of yourself, the deepest parts of your business to these individuals, if you don't feel like it's safe, if you don't feel like it's going into a vault that is strictly for you and them, if you don't feel like they're not going to judge you or gossip about you, then they're not safe people. Safe people need to be just that, safe. You need to be able to share whatever you need to with them and know that it's not going to come back in a malicious, hurtful, damaging way at all. Family, I'm going to say this, it might offend some of y'all. Just because they're your family does not mean they're safe. Everyone don't need to know everything. Just because they're your family or just because you've known them for a long time does not mean they are safe. There's two caveats to this as well. One, it should be a two-way street. When we're talking about safe people in your lives, you don't ever want to be the only one divulging all your business. It should be a reciprocal relationship. They tell you, you tell them, you build them up, they build you up, they help you, you help them. Safe and reciprocal relationships. Examples of safe people in my life. My sister is a safe person. My wife is a safe person. My friends, I have some friends who are safe people. Not many. Here's the thing, y'all, I'm going to be honest. When you look for people who are truly, truly safe, there shouldn't be a whole bunch of them in your life. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of people in my life where I would say without a shadow of a doubt, maybe two hands, where I would say these are safe people. If I use two hands, I know I'm not even using all 10 fingers. Even if you do, the amount of safe people in your life is not a whole bunch. I'm saying this and I'm beating this thing to death because what I don't want is for you to go out there and think somebody is safe because Drew said safe, and then you find yourself in a situation where people are not faithful over your information, over you, over your life, over your relationships. Because here's the thing, y'all. When you start divulging the stuff, when you start going deep and telling people, I'm not talking about surface things, y'all. I'm talking about the fears. I'm talking about the things you don't know or don't understand. I'm talking about the failures. We need people in our lives who we can talk about this stuff who are not a business relationship. And when you start sharing this kind of information, man, if people aren't faithful over it, and if you can't trust them with it, people can do damage, y'all. So I don't want you to find yourselves in situations where you're out here hurt, you're out here damaged based off of what I said. That's why I keep beating this safe people thing to death. But safe people, even my kids are safe people. Obviously, my kids are, y'all, 6 and 4. So the level of what I'm going to tell my 6 and 4-year-old is very, very manicured and small and age appropriate. However, the Bible says out of the mouth of babes, you will be shocked what will come out of a 4-year-old and 6-year-old's mouth. And my kids, I can't tell you how many times in their 6 years and 4 years on this earth, they've been used to speak some life into me. As a matter of fact, yesterday, I'll tell you a quick story. Yesterday, I went to a meeting and I came home. I was not able to do a farmer's market this week. And I came home. And y'all, on the drive home, a little bit of stinking thinking started creeping in, just a little bit, not much. And, you know, I started kind of questioning some of the things I'm doing in my business and is this the right thing? And da-da-da. We all have those moments if we're real with ourselves, no matter where you are, what the level is. But I started questioning some things. And I called Gwen because she was waiting for me to get home. And While I was talking to her, she was like, yo, the kids want to tell you something. My little boy said, Daddy, we got a surprise for you when you get home. Yo, I didn't know what he was coming up with, but my kids like surprising people. So I got to the house, and y'all, my kids, while I was gone, decided to set up their own farmer's market and wanted to surprise me with it and show me what they had to sell. And let me just tell you this. They took it so serious, and they took such pride in it. And listening to the things they said and the responses to the questions I was asking them, my baby showed me in that moment that what I'm doing is not a waste. It's not for nothing. It is valuable, and it is making an impact. If it's not making an impact on anyone or anything else, my kids are learning from it. They're encouraged by it. They believe in it. And y'all, in that moment, that's what I needed. Kids, 4 years old, 6 years old, they were my safe people. Some of the things I did not mention. Some people, your accountability can also come in the way of specific tasks or skill sets. Me, I'm not a fan of the financial aspect of business. I don't like keeping track of the receipts and running the numbers and all that stuff. So one of the things I did this year, because I'm not a fan of that stuff, it was definitely causing issues in my business, I enlisted the help of a bookkeeper. And let me tell you something. A bookkeeper will keep you honest. They'll keep you honest by the questions she was asking me, and they'll keep you honest because they're not cheap. So a lot of times when you get into specific accountability and you're looking for people for their skill sets, whether it be financial or social media or human resources or administrative assistant, whatever it is, these people aren't free. And so, or even if you're blessed with finding people who will help you and give you their time, you want to steward that time, you want to steward that money. And so you just want to make sure when you're coming into specific areas of help that you are transparent and that you don't waste the time and money again. So like I said all those things: financial assistance, personal assistance, social media, health. Listen, y'all, if you ain't healthy, you ain't running no business. This is something else that came into my life, or my revelation this year, is just the importance of taking care of your physical body so that you can run the race, so that you can get business done and handled, and so that you can be here. What's the point? What is the point of working so hard, all the sacrifice, all the time, if you're not here to reap the rewards of your labor and your work? Part of that, y'all, is taking care of your physical body. We only got one. So health and physical accountability, networking groups. 2024 has been the year of networking and networking groups for my business for a long, long time because of bad experiences before, y'all. This is why it's important to evolve and grow and change and adapt. Because of bad experience before, I became extremely averse to networking groups. I didn't want to hear nothing about no Chamber of Commerce. I didn't want to hear nothing about no meetups. I didn't want to hear anything about getting to know people on a business or corporate level because I just thought it was all a sham. I was wrong. Don't listen to me. Now I'm here to tell you, don't ever let one bad experience, change your whole mentality about anything. Like, give people chances, give opportunities chances, try things again. But networking groups are great accountability. I think they're great accountability, because in networking groups, you can often meet a lot of the people I've already talked about for your lives. 2, most networking groups are on a calendar, have a set time, set day, set intervals. And it's good to incorporate that into your lifestyle. And a lot of these groups want to know that you're there. Some of them even cost some money. And so just by implementing going to these networking groups into your life, that brings a level of responsibility and accountability too. People expect you to show up, and you want to show up for yourself as well. And then on a higher level, for businesses, there's often masterminds, which are typically short intensives. A mastermind can last anywhere from a few months to a year or so. A lot of times they cost a lot of money, but this is a high value option that puts you at the table with like-minded people often, and exponential accountability takes place. These are often people who are already in your field of study. They've definitely accomplished what you want already, and they want you there as well. And let me be clear, by the time I say masterminds for real, I'm talking about presidential CEO type level stuff. You know, you can spend tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars on being on a mastermind. However, masterminds are what I aspire to. I haven't been a part of one yet, but I aspire to be a part of one, just because, you know, a bird and a feather flock together. If I want to be a great CEO, I want to sit at a table with great CEOs and learn from CEOs who've done it already or who are doing it with me. I know I've talked about a lot of this stuff before, but I just felt going into 2025, new year's coming, new beginnings, new opportunities. If I can stress anything to you that I've learned over the last year, it would be start walking in your life and in your business in a community. Form a community around you. You are not by yourself. You do not have to be by yourself, not in your personal life, not in your business. Our goal at the Eating Chambers channel is to always, always, always excite you, empower you, and educate you into the life that you want for yourself and your business. Going into 2025, I think there could be no other way for me to do that than to talk to you about accountability and implementing some of these things into your life, or all of them, whatever works for you, because it's made such an impact in my life and in my business, especially over the last year. And I know if you trust the process and you're willing to be vulnerable and you're willing to be transparent, it'll do the same for you. Y'all, thank you so much for being here with us. Please, please, please make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things to help us continue to bring you this great, great content. Also remember our homeboys, the Great Podcast, Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John, some great guys. They're available on all podcast platforms. Check them out, great content. Until next time, y'all, we are gone.